Hi Algebra 2B, we're here working on our compound interest writing assignment. And for this problem we were given the fact that the Bank of Illinois at Barrington pays 2.5% compounded monthly, and we want to put $5,000 in for our principal. Okay, so what we need to do is we first need to come up with an equation. Okay, so the first thing is the 2.5%. The rate, we got to move our decimal place over twice. Okay, so we get 0.025. Okay, and now we need to come up with our equation. Okay, so remember that the formula is A equals P times 1 plus the rate over the number of times yearly times, or raised to the power of n times t. And in this case, we're given a few of our variables. We're given the principal, which is the $5,000. We're also given the rate, which is 0.025. And the number of times yearly. Well, if it's monthly, we know our n's got to be 12. So we're going to plug that in here, and we're going to plug that in our exponent. We are not given time. And I'll show you how that works on the Excel spreadsheet. Okay, so now that we have our formula, we're going to go over to our Excel spreadsheet. And I'm going to show you how that works in the Excel spreadsheet. Okay, so please follow along with my keystrokes. Okay, first we're going to come up with the years. Okay, and you should have this exact Excel spreadsheet where we have years in column 1, total value for the option in column 2, total interest for the option in column 3, and interest per year in column 4. So first we're going to come up with the years. And right now we know our first year, so box A2, it's year 0. Okay, and from there we need to create an equation. So we have to use our equal sign. Okay, and what we want to do is we want to start with year 0. Okay, and notice how it's highlighted because we're going to use the information from that box, and we're going to add 1 each time. When you're done with the equation, hit enter, and look, it gives us the fact that the next year is year 1. And now what I want to do is I want to go back to box A3, and notice how there's a little square in the bottom right corner. I'm going to drag that all the way down to row number 20. And the reason being is because row number 20 will give us 18 years. And what it did was, it took the box above it and it added 1 each time. So it went 0, 1, 2, 3, all the way down to 18. Okay, we're going to use this feature when we calculate the total value, the total interest, and the interest per year. So now let's talk about the total value. Okay, so I'm going to go to box B2. And box B2, we know is the total value. And right off the bat, in year 0, we have $5,000. So that's what I'm going to plug in for box B2. And now I need to create my equation. This is probably the toughest one. Okay, so it's got to be an equation, so we're going to go equal sign. And Excel is very picky. It needs to see exactly what you want it to do. So in parentheses, I'm going to put 5,000. I'm going to close my parentheses. Next, whenever you see multiplication, you cannot just put 2 numbers next to each other. There needs to be a multiplication sign, so we're going to use the star, which is shift 8. Now we're going to open up another parentheses, and it's 1 plus, and we're going to open up another parentheses because we have division here. 0.025 divided by 12, close parentheses. Notice how it's highlighting in green because it's closed off that parentheses. And let's close again. And now we need to raise to an exponent. So I'm going to use the little caret, which is shift 6. Open up parentheses again. And I have 12 times, so I'm going to use the star. And I need time. And where I want to get my time from is the number of years. Okay, so I want it to be year 1, and I want to use the corresponding box to the left. So let's say I want it to be year 6. That means I need to take the information from row 8, column A. That's year 6, and that's what it's going to do. It's going to take information from the column to the left of it. And now I close my parentheses and hit enter, and there it is. After the first year, I have $5,126. So I want to go back to that box, B3, go to the bottom right corner and drag down. And now it just did all of those problems for me. So by year 18, I'm making $7,837.89. Okay? Now let's do the same thing for total option A, total interest. So now we need to calculate the interest. Now think about interest, that's how much you're making. So if we start with 5,000, in the first year, we don't have any interest. Okay, but now after the first year, we might have some interest. So I need an equal sign. And to get interest, I'm going to take what I have now, and I'm going to subtract what I started with. So I'm going to take what I have at year 1, and I'm going to subtract 5,000 because that's our principal. Hit enter. And now it's going to calculate the total interest after each year. So now in year 18, when we had $7,837, if you subtract 5,000, you get an interest of $2,837. Now let's look at interest per year. This one's probably the trickiest one. In year 0, we didn't have any interest, so we're still at 0. But now we need to create another equation. So I need my equal sign. And if I want the interest just from year 1, I need to take year 1's total value and subtract year 0. If I want the interest from year 3, I need to take year 3's total value and subtract year 2. So the way it's going to look is, I'm going to take the 2 boxes to the left in total value, and I'm going to subtract the box above it in that same column. That's going to give me the interest just for that year. And hit enter, and it's going to do all that work for me by going back up to D3 and dragging down. Okay, so now what I have is all this data, and it calculated the interest per year, the total interest per year, and the total value, all the way up to year 18. And I can see specifics. I can see what happened in year 13. I can see what happened in year 8. Okay, but right now it kind of looks unclear. And the reason being is because these numbers don't really resemble currency. So what I want to do is I want to highlight all the values that resemble dollars, and I'm going to go up to the top of my screen, and I'm going to go Format. I'm going to format my cells. Okay, so that's the top box in Excel. And if you look at all these categories, I can format the numbers that are in the highlighted section. And I want currency. Okay, how many decimal places? Well, we're talking about cents. So let's go 2 decimal places, hit OK, and it's going to format all of that data to dollars and cents. So now it's very clear on what we're talking about, $7,837.89. Okay, now you need to do this for the specific option I gave you with our actual project. So we're going to have an option A, an option B, and an option C. And you need to create a table from this, and we'll get directions from there. Okay? Good luck, guys.